So welcome to the 1990 series. My name's Amanda O'Shea, the Loving Life Coach from the Serendipity Experience. And I have with me today Graham Bannatyne, known as Banners to his friends, who's joining me from Castel de Castells, near top of the Jalón Valley here in sunny Spain. How are you doing, Graham?
Very well. A very good morning to Amanda and all your listeners. And firstly, I wish you everybody a happy Christmas and a prosperous New Year.
Oh, thank you. It's so lovely to have you here and joining us on this 1990 series where we're speaking with 90 fabulous people in 90 days, 90 little conversations. So I love the title that we've given to ours, Happy Children. And that came from me meeting you very recently as I was bringing as I rocked up to XIC, International College here in Javier, and you have been working there doing some voluntary work. And I was told that there was this really, really nice guy working at the primary school who was helping to do some podcasts with the children, amongst all the other things that you've been doing up there. And I was going to, maybe it'd be a good idea if we hooked up and worked together to try and get some podcasts, listen to the children's voices onto the international school radio, the radio station that XIC have. And that was you, the lovely man.
Well, I'm not sure you picked the right man, but we spoke anyway.
And it was lovely when we had that little chat. I really enjoyed the conversation that we had where you were telling me about, the world that you'd come from and what you're doing now, and seeing that happy children is something that is something that's a wish for all of us, right? If when we have happy children, when we see that our children are content and peaceful and doing what kids are meant to be doing, which is playing and having fun and learning and going through their own learning journey, that's something that we're both sort of part of the world that wishes for that to happen. But you weren't always working with young children in a primary school, were you, Graham?
Oh, not at all. This is my first experience of working with young children. I spent 30 years in many roles in the police service, so this is a polar reverse on what I used to do. But it stands in good stead for what you've seen, to how you can hopefully help the children in, not always in times of goodness, but sometimes when they just want someone to talk to. You can tend to spot when a little one's not very happy and just try and help them on their way and find out why they're not happy, and just try and make their life a little bit easier for them on that particular moment when they're, not so they're lost, but they don't know which way to turn.
Yeah, and I think XIC are really, really lucky to have you up there volunteering, and extremely lucky, because you must have dealt with lots of naughty children.
More big children, I think, not so much little children. I think when they come past leaving school age. But XIC firstly is a great team. It's not just one person, not just me helping, not one teacher. It's a fantastic management team that do it properly, and they believe in the children, and hence the children believe in them.
Yeah, and there's something up there. I was just I saw you there the other day too at the Christmas fair. And it was a really lovely, just a beautiful crowd and a really good feeling, a really good vibe, that really feeling of community in a school, everybody pitching in. It was a beautiful day, wasn't it? It was sunshine, we were all outside.
It was a lovely day. I think the word family, sums up XIC. It's not a school, it's a family where children leave their paternal families and come to their other family.
Yeah.
And they're treated like one of a family, and their needs are foremost, and if they can be made happy if something's gone wrong, then that's how it is. It's to invest in the children, they'll invest in you. So I look at XIC as an extended family for the children.
Yeah, it really is a wonderful, I was very impressed. I've been very, very impressed when I've been up there the last sort of few times. And so seeing that, I'm really big with love and care. That's how I work, from that place of love and care, and I know that it kind of excited you a little bit when I talked about the program, the iHeart program that
absolutely
we're hoping to bring into the school, or we are bringing into the school, and it's just which way that kind of happens. But really helping the children to understand how their thinking system works, understand how their feeling system works, is so important for children to have their own realizations, like what they are creating inside of them, you know, how they create the sort of perspective of how life looks out there. And can you see that? You can see the benefit in that, Graham, right? You can see.
Absolutely. I mean, the world is changing at an absolute rapid pace, for us as adults, never mind children. With all technology, social media, you hear all of the horror stories of cyberbullying and so on. And I think it's important for children to know that the world isn't just technology. It is about feelings. It is about talking. It's about communication. And I feel perhaps latterly in my previous career that communication is something it hasn't stopped, but we communicate differently. We don't really talk to each other. We don't write letters. It's all done electronically. And I can't help but feel, and it might be a dinosaur age of me, that the lack of communication is causing more problems. So I think if we can ask the children to open up, communicate, talk, to express, be honest, then that's a way forward, and not hide behind a piece of technology or social media where they're anonymous and they're easy and they're vulnerable. So I would like to see less, how do you say it, social media, and more going back to the old family, sit around the table, talk about our troubles sort of days.
Yeah, and you know, and it is right. But families are busy. Parents are all working these days.
Absolutely.
And, you know, we're in that fast pace. But I totally agree with you that. I did a call the other day with a great guy called Amir from California, who's sharing this same understanding over there. He's sharing it in a recovery center and is a private coach, and he talked about connection being the ultimate healer. You know,
absolutely. If you don't communicate with anybody or anything, it's going to go wrong. Communication is a two-way corridor, as I see it. It can't just be one person giving and one person taking, and that's why the I Heart, and as you rightly say, families are busy. One of the children might come to school with a very minor problem, but if parents are too busy, school is too busy, this little problem manifests itself. And before you know it, it's something that's easy by a conversation, an arm around, a sit down and a chat. And it can sort of put the pupil or the child off where they're going for some time. So it goes back, I dare say perhaps wrong, back to communicate. Let's talk to each other properly, face to face, not hide behind an invisible screen, and we can solve things.
I really do see that deep listening is the key. You know, we don't have to deep listen to somebody for very long. We can give somebody a minute of our time in presence and really listen, not to their words, but where that's really coming from. You know, where the moans and groans and you know, the complaints and the grumbles and you know, where that's really coming from. And when people know that somebody cares, that's enough. That's enough.
Well, you're right. When you're looking at somebody's eyes and they talk to you, and they can see that you're actually genuinely interested in their plight at that particular time, they will give you more. They won't hide. They won't tell you what you want to. They'll actually tell you the truth because they believe in you. And for that moment in time, for someone to believe in that young sort of person at that moment is vitally important. It might only be, as I said, something very, very minor. 2 minutes, 1 minute of your time, and they're off away, happy playing, and the day is far better. And that's what, going back to communication and not being invisible behind the screen, is all about, as I said.
Yeah. And do you know what I love about sort of the character of Graham is you bring with you this really beautiful, you have this like lovely kind of loving presence, but with common sense. You know, you're the man with your feet on the ground that's sort of reaching for the stars, so to speak. You know, it's lovely to have that figure where you are that calm. Well, that's what I saw when I was in the school. There's this calmness, but you come from that place of care, and that's invaluable in any situation, in any relationship, in any family, in any school. So, you know, those figures I think are really good role models for the children.
Well, thank you for saying that. And I guess that comes naturally, having spent 30 years in the University of Life, dealing with all sorts of things, not just good, bad, but, you know, it does mould you. Sometimes it taints you, but nothing really tends to faze you. You've been through the experience of life that I've been through.
I agree. I sort of say that, yeah. I always say nothing shocks me, and then I say, but I wasn't expecting that. You know?
There's no problems, there's only solutions.
Yeah, and there's something about, when we can see, when children really believe they've got a problem, or somebody else believes they've got a problem. They might not believe they've got a problem. Somebody else believes they've got a problem. It's such an opportunity for us to see the resilience in the child, to see the resilience in the human being, to see that, like, we've got all the answers inside of us, in the room. If a child came in and a couple of children came in with a problem, and there was you and me and a couple of children in the room, the answer would be there. The wisdom is in the room.
The wisdom is in the child. They just have to know where to find it. They've all got it, but sometimes they get clouded by the problem they've got at the moment. They know where the answer is. It's just for you or I or somebody else just to press the right button to say, there's the answer. Give them the tools to make themselves happy at that moment in time. They know the answer.
Yeah. So I think it's only good stuff that more of us are coming together. We're going to do the best. I know that you are. I'm going to do the best
Absolutely.
job I can, and we're going to listen to these children, get their voices live on the radio. I'm excited for all that to happen in 2020. Get
Yes.
this curriculum into as many schools as possible, and let's see that it's so true. The children are our future.
Yeah, and let the audience of Exeter see how much fun these children have at school. I know they go home brimming and telling their parents what they've done. Let's hear their voices. Let's invest, as I said before, let's invest in their time, their energy, and make them as happy as they can be so they carry on their life throughout their teenage, adults, and when they've got families, and imparting the right things to their children the further down the line.
Yeah. And it's true, it's paying it forward, it pays it on. It's so worth investing, because we're at a critical point in the statistics within mental health, within our young people, within our teenagers. It's not such a good place where we're at. It's time for there needs to be a change, because with the way we're going the last 20 years or so, it's time for us to get back in touch with each other.
It is, and they say life goes in circles. Are we going back to that time in the 50s, 60s, where people sat down, they talked, they didn't have all the technology? Again, repeating myself about that. Getting them down to express and open up about what they feel, not to some secret cyber person they've never met the other side of the world.
Yeah.
We want to invest in the children. Children need to invest in their parents and vice versa. And the tools are there. We just get clouded behind being busy, behind technology, and what the world thinks we should be doing.
That's right. So we know what we are doing, and that's all we can do.
Yeah.
Graham,
Happy children. That's what it's all about.
It is, and it's. Thank you so much for being part of this 90 and 90 series. We've got
Thank you for inviting me.
You're absolutely my pleasure. We've got a great community here. Let's bring it all together, and I'm excited for 2020.
Likewise, I'm looking forward to the iHeart rolling out and what we can do to make the XRC community even happier.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much, Graham. Have a great day. Merry Christmas to you and yours. And we'll speak to everyone soon. Bye all.
Thanks all the very best. Bye for now all. Bye bye.